Okay, good morning, everyone. Or anyone, please respond. Please, anyone, please respond.
Sir,
Hello, 46.
sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Screen visibility ఎలా ఉంది?
Yes, sir. Yes. బాగానే ఉంది.
Okay, thank you. Sir, in this unit, three more concepts we have. One is calibration. Second one is prediction interpretation, and the guidelines for rejection and acceptance of the objects. And the last one, limitations and effectiveness of the ultrasonic testing. These three topics are left in this unit. Okay. I will complete these concepts in this today's class, today and tomorrow's class, and next week we will go for next unit. Sir, next two units are very easy and simple units when compared with first two units. So yesterday I started a concept that is testing of different products. Okay, in previous class I have explained the testing of castings and rod products. Okay, now we start weldments. How to test the weldments by using ultrasonics. Okay. Later we will see the calibration procedure. Only 40 members. Okay, we will start. Let me start now. Weldments. How to conduct the ultrasonic testing for testing the defects in weldments. You know, weldments. Okay, weld beds are there. Okay, how to test those weld beds and what kind of procedure we have to follow for testing the weld beds. So now we see. Okay, generally we are using both the straight beams and angle beam techniques for conducting the ultrasonic test on welds. Okay, but if you want to test the weld bed with the help of straight beam, you need to ground the weld bed. So the projection, okay, on the top surface of the weld bed, we have to grind it. Okay, you have to level it by using grinding machine. Okay, then only you can use the normal probes, normal beam testing. Okay, otherwise we can't conduct straight beam testing on weld beds. Okay, but sometimes the grinding procedure is expensive for some kind of applications. Okay, in that case we have to test the weld beds without grinding the uh, uh, top surface of the weld bed. In that case, the best way to test the weldments by using ultrasonics is angle beam technique. Okay, in angle beam technique there is no need to grind the surface of the weld bed. That is the advantage of the angle beam testing. Okay, here we are using different types of frequencies for testing welds. Okay, what are these? 1 megahertz sound waves are used, 2 megahertz, 2.5 megahertz, up to 5 megahertz, 1 to 5 megahertz sound waves. So frequencies are used for testing the weldments. Okay, at the same time, angle beam projections are like this. So we can use 35 degrees angle. We are projecting the sound waves into the weld bed, 45 and 60, 70 and 80 according to the position of the weldment. okay, and availability of the angle beam probe. Based on that, we are deciding the which angle of projection, at the same time the frequency of the sound wave according to the application of the weldment. According to the weldment, we are selecting the frequency and the angle of incident of sound waves into the material. Here now we see the procedure. The procedure adopted in the weld bits. This is the weld bit. You see this. This is the weldment. We have to test it. Okay. This is the part, bottom part is called root. This is the top surface. Okay. This is the top of the weldment. Okay. These two parts are joined by using this welding. Okay. Here already I told, if you want to use the straight beam, you have to grind the top surface of the weldment. But most of the cases we are using angle beam. Okay, for that purpose we are adopting some procedures. Okay, here we have to divide the total plate into different parts. Here we have to take some distance, that is S. Okay, here S is the skip distance. S is called skip distance. Okay, here we have to draw two lines parallel to the this weldment. One line is like this, which is apart from S distance from the weldment, center of the weld, and we have to take one more line that is parallel to the weldment at a distance of S/2, half skip distance. These two are called, this S is the skip distance, S/2 is the half of the skip distance. Now we are moving the probe in this area. Okay, in this area, if you move the probe, okay, in this area from S to S/2 in this region, okay, you can cover the top of this surface, because this is the angle probe. Okay, we are projecting the sound waves, those are reflected and moving towards weldments, and again reflecting these reflected wave, we are catching this reflected wave. Based on the echoes of this reflected wave, we can identify the defects under the weldments. Okay, the probe movement in this area, okay, covers the top area of the weldments, and the probe movement in this area, S/2 area, okay, covers the root of the weldment. Okay, in this way we can cover the total area of the volume of the weldment, and we can easily identify the defects under the weldments. Okay, we have to note these nodes, because a random movement of probe is not there is no possibility, we can't predict the total covering of the weldment. So we have to follow some certain methods, then only we can cover the total weld bit, and we can scan the total weld bit, because here we are not scanning in direct manner, we are indirectly we are scanning the weldment, because we are using angle beam method. So we have to maintain the probe movement in a controlled manner. For that purpose, we have to draw the lines for covering. Okay, the distances maintained are called skip distances. We are maintaining we have to draw the lines at a full skip distance and off skip distance. Okay, based on that, we can cover the total weldment, and we can test the total weldment by using angle beam method. Okay, see this. This is the path of the shear wave. Here we are using shear waves, because longitudinal waves are not applicable to testing by using angle beam method here. Okay, if you want to use longitudinal methods, you have to use straight beam method. Then we have to grind the top portion of the weld. Okay, see this. This is the path of the shear wave. How the shear wave is moving inside the plate. Okay, these are the reference lines, skip lines and off skip lines are the reference lines to cover the total weldment. Next one, ultrasonic testing for fillet welds. Okay, up to now we are testing the butt welding joints. Okay, because mostly the ultrasonic testings are preferable for butt weldings, but some cases we have to test the fillet welds also. For that purpose, we have to follow some other methods. See this diagram. Okay, you can observe this diagram. Okay, see this. Here first we are testing, see this, Here first, this is the testing of double fillet welds. Fillet weld means we are the welding at corner. That is called fillet weld. Okay, here we have two fillet welds. Okay, here we are using straight beams. We are testing double fillets. Here we are moving the probe on the top surface. Okay, we are taking the reflected waves. See this. Here first scanning, a scan means now the waves are covering, okay, the part which is not under the fillet weld. You can see the some multi picks are happened here. Okay, now if the wave is moving in the fillet weld, okay, the projections you can see. Okay, here A is the transmitted echo. Now what is the back echo is like a slight curve is there. Okay, if there is any defect in the fillet weld, now see the scan CRT screen for C. Here we have a crack inside the fillet weld, then you can see the echoes. Okay, here we have like a smooth curve alteration is there, but here we have some extra peak echo is there. Based on this echo, we can find the flaw. This is the flaw echo. Okay, back surface echo. Sorry. Okay, see this flaw echo means we can see that at C position. Okay, we can see the top peak is the flaw echo. Okay, this is the flaw echo, and this is the flaw echo. Next, this is these three scans related to the double for scanning the double fillet welds. You can also test the single fillet weld, but for testing the single fillet weld, we have to use the angle beam technique rather than straight beam technique. Here, rather angle beam technique is only used for testing the single fillet weld. Here we have a crack in the fillet. Okay, by using angle beam technique, we can find this crack. Here, see this. A is the transmitted echo, B is the flaw echo. Okay, in this way, you can test the fillet welds also by using ultrasonics. Okay, next one is immersion testing of weld shoe. Suppose even some pipes, some submerged pipes are there, means they are under water. Okay, we are joining the pipes with the help of weldments. So we have to test the weld bits under the water. Then we can use the immersion type of ultrasonic testing. Okay, here see this. This is the testing of pipe. Okay, under water. See this. Here we have a flaw in the pipe. Okay, what kind of technique here you are using? Okay, we are sending in a inclined way, means angle beam techniques we are using, means the probe is we are maintaining the probe position in an inclined manner. Then we are sending the sound waves. Those sound waves are reflected inside. Those are reflected and reflected inside. Based on the wave travelation, if there is any crack in the middle, then we can find the cracks. See this. If there is no crack, this is only front surface. Front surface echo is obtained because we are immersion testing is there, because there is a couplant, that is the water between the probe and object is there. So we have a front surface echo is there. Okay, this is the front surface echo without defects. If there is any defects, we get some peak echo. Okay, based on this echo, we can find, we can identify the type of defect and size of the flaw inside the pipes. Means we can test the weldments inside the under the water also by using immersion type ultrasonic testing. Okay, here in immersion type testing, we are using shear waves. Shear waves means transverse waves. Okay, means we have two types of modes for waves. One is longitudinal mode, second one is transverse mode. Transverse mode is also called shear waves. Okay, sometimes we are using two probe method for testing the weldment. Suppose this is a weldment. We have different types of cracks are there. Means some cracks are, some flaws are perpendicular to the weldment, some flaws are parallel to the weldment. In that case, we can't identify in a single method. Then we are using a pair of two probe method. Means here we are using two probe method. Here we can see this. where we can detect the flaws which are perpendicular to the weld bit by using T1 and T2 pair, and here T1 T2 are the probes. By using this pair we can predict the flaws perpendicular to the weld bit, and by using T3 and T4 pair, here these are the two probes. By using these two probes we can find the flaws which are parallel to the weldments. Okay, two probe method also, this is also called pitch catch method. Okay, based on this method we can find the flaws in any direction in the weldments. Okay, these are the different methods used for the finding the flaws in the different types of weld bits. Okay, so generally we are using ultrasonics for testing the castings. Okay, for testing the raw products. Raw products means raw material products like billets, okay, and pipes, sheets. Like next, one more thing is weldments. We can test the weldments by using ultrasonics waves. Okay, these are the different methods used for testing. These are the different products which are covered under ultrasonic test. Okay, these are the testing of products, different products. Okay, we have different varieties of methods and different varieties of techniques. As for application, where we can use the different methods, and based on that method we can find the defects under the various type of products. Okay, our next concept is calibration. What is calibration? You know, calibration, you have studied this concept in metrology lab, because we are calibrating the different instruments with the standard references. Because we have to calibrate the instruments, means we have to calibrate this testing equipment like probes. Okay, because accuracy is more important. Okay, we have to know the sensitivity of the testing equipment, then only we can predict the defects in a efficient manner. Because if there is no sensitivity in the equipment, we can't find the defects in a effective manner. So we have to test the equipment. Okay, by comparing with reference standards. We have some standards. Based on by comparing with the standards, we have to assess the equipment and our readings. Okay, sir, if you have any doubt on the equipment or measurement, we have to compare that results with the standard references. So we have, in ultrasonics also we have some calibration standards. Okay, because interpretation of ultrasonic indications means you got results from the CRT screen, but we have to predict the flaw type, what kind of flaw it is, what is the size of the flaw, okay, what is the orientation of the flaw. We have to interpret the data related to the defect. Okay, how can you interpret the data? Based on the indications from the appropriate reference standards. We have some reference standards are there. Okay, by comparing our results with that reference standards, we are interpret the defects under the components. We are analyzing the defects under the components. So we are comparing the results with the standard references. Okay, now what are the different references? We have different reference standard components are there. Okay, reference standards are also made up of same material with same density with same acoustic impedance. Okay, when compared with test material. Suppose if you are testing mild steel, okay, steel, then our reference standard are also made up of with same material. Okay, you know, acoustic impedance means resistance offered against the sound waves. That is also similar to the reference and the testing materials. We have to select the similar materials, okay, for reference for testing a particular material. Okay, here the purpose of calibration is here. First purpose is to ensure the consistent performance of the ultrasonic test instrument. Okay, first one, the calibration purpose is first one to ensure the consistency. Okay, the equipment which are used for testing is working in a consistent manner or not. We have to know that. How to know? By calibration procedure, only we can know the consistency of a particular ultrasonic equipment. And second thing, to check the sensitivity. Okay, suppose the instrument has more sensitive, then we can get good results. So we have to test the sensitivity of the equipment, resolution of the equipment, and characteristics of the probe which is used for the ultrasonic testing. We have to check all these things. How to check? By calibration only we can check all these things. Means by comparing with the reference standards, then we can identify the problems in the present equipment. Next purpose is to evaluate the defects for their size and location. We are get the defects. Here we have only information on CRT screen in the form of echo only. Based on that echo amplitude, echo width, and echo property characteristics, based on that echo only we can identify the defect or flaw inside the component. We can predict that type of flaw, what kind of flaw we have inside the component with the help of that echo only. Okay, how can you do that? By reference standards, by studying the reference standards, by comparing with the reference standards, only we can easily analyze the flaw inside the components. And one more thing, purpose is to assess the homogeneity of the material. Okay, means the homogeneity of material means the properties of the material is same throughout the material or not. We can assess by using calibration standards. And one more thing, to provide a common base for expressing the test results. Okay, where so many industries or so many testing companies are there, but every company and everywhere, because we are purchasing products from different countries. Okay, and at the same time we are importing our products to the different countries. So everywhere in the world should follow the same reference standards, then automatically we can maintain the standards, so we can import our products to the different countries, because we are maintaining the same standards followed by the that countries which are in overseas also. So that is also one of the advantages of this following these reference standards. Means common base is there. Okay, everywhere we are following same rules, automatically there is no problem at all. Okay, now we see the what are the reference standards used in the for the calibration of ultrasonic testing. Here we have three groups. One is blocks for performance evaluation. For testing the performance of the ultrasonic equipment, we are using some blocks. And the second one is blocks with flat bottom holes. Okay, means we are creating some blocks with artificial reflectors, okay, for our reference. And third one is regular components with stimulated or natural defects. Means we are using our standards for regular items. Means suppose if you are testing a component with a natural defect is there inside the object, we are tested that we have that information regarding that component. We are using that reference for testing the similar object, another object. Okay, based on the echo form for the testing, we have to predict, interpret that flaw based on the by comparing the results with the similar one we have. These three are the things we are using for the calibrations. First, we see the blocks for performance evaluation. Here we are using two standard blocks. Okay, one is British calibration block is there, and second one is International Institute of Welding block is there. Okay, these two are used as reference standards, okay, for testing the performance or evaluation of the testing systems. First, we see the British calibration block. This is the British calibration block. This is the standard block. Okay, here we have a divisions. Each division is 0.2 inches. Okay, how many divisions are? 9 divisions are there. And here we have a hole, small hole. What is the diameter? 1/16 inch diameter. Hole is there at a distance 2 inch from the left edge, and the width of the block is 6 inches, and length of the block is 12 inches, and thickness is 0.5 inches. This block is called British calibration block. This is used for testing the performance of the ultrasonic testing equipment. Okay, this is made up of with mild steel. Okay, this mild steel block is normalized. That means we are conducting the normalizing, that is the heat treatment process. Okay, for better properties of the material. We are testing this block under that equipment. Okay, based on the results, we can compare these results with our testing. Okay, now what is the purpose of this block? Already I told performance checking. The performance checking means linearity of time base and calibration of any auxiliary scale and standardization of sensitivity, working sensitivity. These three can be measured with the help of this block. First, we see the checking of linearity of the time base. Okay, here see this. Here this is the 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4. We have here, see this in this block, the whole, that is 1/16, the whole is there, that is coincide with the 0. Okay, here a 0 is coincide with this whole in standard block. You have to remember that. Okay, now we see this. We are testing this block with that equipment which are going for the testing. We have to test the performance of the block. First one is checking linearity. Here we are sending the shear wave inside of this block. We have getting different echoes. Now we see the distance between these echoes. That is the length of the length between these echoes. Suppose the length between the echoes are equal, means the linearity of means there is a linearity between the time and the distance between the echoes is maintaining the linear relationship. Okay, then the equipment is performing in good manner, means we can check in this way, means the distance is equal, then the linearity of time base is there. Okay, the distance is different between different peaks, automatically there is no linear relationship between the time and the echo. Okay, then there is a problem in the testing equipment. Okay, second purpose is correction of 0 point. Now we have to, there is an error in the 0 point where we have to take the 0 point, 0 reference in the CRT screen. Then we have doubt, then we can check the 0 error by using this method. Okay, in this manner, if you check this, if you have distance, first this is the beginning echo, this is the second echo. Now we are measuring the distance between the echo 1 and 2 and same with 2 and 3. Now this distance is marked, same distance is marked before 1, that is marked as 0. Here beginning echo and first echo has more distance when compared with the first and the second. But 0 means we have to mark this same distance we have to maintain. So by measuring this distance between these two echoes, we have to adjust the reference here. Now the beginning distance is error. This is the error. So we have to take the reference, our readings results from this reference. This is called taking correction of 0 point. Okay, we have also test the sensitivity, working sensitivity. How to measure the working sensitivity? We are moving the probe on this block, front, forward and backward. Okay, we are measuring the maximum amplitude. How much maximum amplitude we get? We have to measure that. Okay, we are getting more amplitude, means there is more sensitivity is there. Okay, we are getting less amplitude, means we have less amplitude. Based on the amplitude range, we can check the sensitivity of the equipment. In this way, we can use the British calibration block. Okay, for testing the performance of the equipment, we need a standard specimen. Based on the results from the standard specimen, we can predict, we can assess the performance of the equipment. This is the first one. Now, what is the second one? International Institute of Welding block. This is the second standard block, which is used in different industries for taking the performance of the ultrasonic equipment. Okay, this is also used for same purposes. So what I mentioned in previous case for British calibration block, but the shape and dimensions are different when compared with the British block. say this. These are the dimensions of the British block. This is the front view, top view. This is the thickness of the block. This is the 25, and this is the width of the block. Here we have a different shapes. Okay, here we have a hole that is 50 diameter. Here we have a notch 25 diameters. Okay, here we have a hole, and we have a radius. Okay, why we are providing this much of complexity in this block? Okay, now we are sending the ultrasonic waves by using our equipment into this block. Okay, this now we are using this as a specimen. Now we are getting the results. Based on that results, we can assess the equipment. Generally, with the help of equipment, we are finding the defects under the object. This is the reverse phenomenon, because we know the defects, we know the everything about that specimen. Now we are testing that specimen, we can assess our equipment. This is the reverse phenomena of testing the procedure, you know. Okay, this is reverse for the testing. Okay, we don't know the defects under the object, we can find the defects by using equipment. That is our procedure. Now we know the defects under the specimen. Based on that, we can assess the equipment. That is the reverse process. This block also one of the important block used in the reference standards in ultrasonic testing. These are the this table gives the different things related to this international block. See this. This is the probe position. First one, equipment characteristics, probe position, and indication of CRT. First, this is the things obtained from the International Institute of Welding Block. Okay, for longitudinal waves, for shear waves. Now what is the scanning? Okay, thickness is more than 200 mm. This is the probe position. This is the CRT display. Okay, for this is for shear waves. Okay, here a specimen is made up of steel. Okay, this is our reference standards. Okay, now based if the equipment not given like this, means there is a problem in the equipment. Zero correction. Okay, see this. Calibration same as the probe position. Okay, here take this angle probe used without changing the range, reading the X on the CRT. Okay, see this. Based on this, we can find the zero position. Is there any zero error? We can find. We are measuring. We have to maintain the same distance. I already explained in previous slide. If there is a distance change, means there is error, beginning error. We have to adjust that errors. Next, working sensitivity. How to measure the working sensitivity? High power, medium power. These are the waves, standard waves. Is there any deviation in the wave formation? Automatically there is a problem with the sensitivity of the equipment. This is for shear wave. This is for medium functional wave, normal probe with high power and medium power. Next, probe index. We can test the probe index. Okay, if the wave is like this, then we can assess the probe index with the help of CRT display. Angle of refraction. See this. Next, this is the dead zone. This is the resolution test. Resolution, you can see this. If this is the standard resolution like this, if the resolution like this is the poor one. Okay, if our equipment provides this if you test this block under that equipment, if gives the resolution like this, the equipment is good resolution. Like this means poor resolution. Means based by testing this block, we can assess the quality of our equipment. In this way, we are calibrating our equipment. Here, one more block we have, that is, sir, I just moved this table simply because all these are the CRT displays, standard displays are there. Okay, we are testing that block under that your equipment. Okay, if the display is similar, okay, the equipment is good. If there any deviations, automatically we can check the sensitivity, resolution, and other things of the equipment. Next, miniature angle beam probe calibration block. Okay, this is this block is mainly meant for testing the angle beam. Okay, this is the block shape. This is the thickness, that is the 12.5. Okay, this is we have a curve that is 25 radius width. We have a hole 5 mm hole diameter. Okay, and this is the block. We have standard dimensions are there. Okay, now we are testing this under angular beam. We are taking the results. We have some standard results. Now we are testing. We are taking the results by testing this equipment. We are comparing the standard results with the obtained results. Is there any deviations? Based on the deviations, we can assess the our ultrasonic equipment. This is the way. This is also one of the famous block used as reference block for calibration. And the last one, that is the blocks with flat bottom holes. Okay, here these blocks are introduced by ASTM. Okay, American Standard of Testing and Measurement. ASTM standard made these blocks for calibration of the ultrasonic test. Here we have a different blocks here. These are the ASTM blocks for testing ultrasonic for various amplitudes and various dimension thicknesses. Okay, these are the standard blocks. Now we are testing we are using to test these blocks. Based on the results, we can assess the equipment. This is the block, one kind of ASTM flat bottom reference hole block. Here these blocks have a hole, standard bottom hole is there, flat bottom hole. Okay, here this kind of we have 10 blocks. Okay, with this bottom hole. Okay, now we are testing these blocks for measuring the performance of or testing the equipment. Okay, we have some standards are there. These are the generally used blocks in India also. Okay, what is the purpose of these blocks? Okay, to test the performance of the equipment, we are testing these blocks under that equipment. Based on the results, by comparing the results with references, is there any deviations? There is a defect in the equipment. We have to modify that equipment. Okay, here these are the graphs. Okay, between the different blocks. This is the area amplitude curve. This is the okay. What is the amplitude of the echo and area of the echo? Okay, here for different blocks. This is one block. We have different blocks. ASTM blocks are there. We are testing. This gives the characteristics of the blocks. Okay, we have these curves. Okay, for our reference. Okay, after testing those blocks with our equipment, and then we are comparing the results with these graphs. Is there any deviation? Automatically, we can identify the problems with equipment. One more thing, by using these blocks, we can also evaluate the beam divergence. You know, there is a divergence in the ultrasonic beam because the beam is not moving in a straight way. This is a divergent portion is there. Already I explained this concept in previous classes. Okay, that can also tested by using these blocks. Here we need two blocks, 3-inch height block and 6-inch height block. This is the bottom hole blocks. There is a hole at the bottom. Okay, now we are moving our probe on this block in X direction and Y direction, and in this block in X direction and Y direction. Okay, here we are getting the results of X and Y. Okay, by averaging these results at X and Y, we can easily find the diverging of the beam, because this is the 3-inch. This is the width of the beam at 3-inch block while testing 3-inch block. This is the width of the beam at while testing 6-inch block. Okay, automatically Y is greater than X means there is a divergence. How much divergence we have? We can find by averaging the X and Y. This is the way to find the divergence of the wave. Okay, for measuring the divergence of the wave, we need two blocks. By comparing these two blocks, we can find the divergence of the sound wave. Okay, this is about calibration of this ultrasonic equipment. Okay, by using these different standard blocks, by testing these standard blocks based on the results, already we have reference results. By comparing with the reference results, we can assess the performance of the equipment, what we are using for testing the materials. Because if you have quality equipment, then our results are with quality. If you are using false equipment, automatically the results also gives false results. So we have to test our equipment periodically. We have to check our equipment in periodic manner. Then only we can maintain the better results in ultrasonic test. Okay. Next, interpretations and guidelines for acceptance and rejection. Okay, if you have any doubts up to now, you can ask me. Okay, I will complete this topic in next class. With this topic, we can complete the second unit. Now I'm unmuting you. Please raise your doubts if you have. Otherwise, I will close the session. Please. If you have any doubts, please ask me.
Cancel.
Sir, we got one question from the first unit, one question from the second unit. Okay, the subject is very, very easy. Theory subject. So don't worry. I think please complete your preparation in this month, May itself. After May, if there is any chance, definitely JNTU will conduct the all exams in a sequence manner. I think first mid, second mid, and final exams are going in a sequence manner, rapid manner. So be prepared for that. Sir, we have only 1 month, that is May, for your preparation. Okay, please complete the 3 subjects what we have. Okay, so then only you can easily face the exams after May, because we have no time. Is there any chance for conducting the exams? Okay, automatically JNT is ready to conduct the exams. Please be prepared in advance. Any doubts?
Bye.
Okay, thank you. I'm closing.